Hello there, and welcome to Venture Deep. Today, I will be speaking about the biggest animal on Earth, blue whale. Beneath the endless blue expanse of the ocean lies the most magnificent creature ever to exist on Earth, a living monument to nature's greatness, a being so vast that it dwarfs even the most legendary dinosaurs. A creature that stretches longer than an entire basketball court and weighs more than dozens of elephants. And yet, despite its unimaginable size, it glides effortlessly through the water as though it were weightless. A silent giant whose mere existence reminds us that the ocean is still filled with mysteries far beyond our understanding. For the blue whale is not simply an animal, it is the largest animal in the history of our planet. A gentle titan whose heart is the size of a small car, beating slowly and powerfully to push life through a body that can reach nearly 100 feet in length. A body capable of crossing entire oceans in search of food and warmth. A body sustained by consuming some of the smallest creatures known to man. For though the blue whale is the biggest being to ever live, it survives almost entirely on tiny shrimp-like krill, filtering millions through its baleen plates in massive gulps of seawater. And this paradox between its colossal size and its delicate diet reflects the fragile balance of life. A balance that has allowed this giant to survive for millions of years, through ice ages, through shifting seas, through the rise and fall of countless species, always returning to the deep waters that have sheltered it since time immemorial. Its song, traveling across hundreds of miles, resonating in low frequencies that can be heard by other whales oceans away. A communication system so powerful it remains one of the loudest sounds ever produced by a living creature, echoing through the marine world like a hymn of survival. Yet this enormous being, capable of inspiring awe and wonder in all who witness, it was once brought to the brink of extinction by humans, who saw it not as a marvel but as a resource, hunting it for oil and profit, nearly erasing it from existence in the whaling era. But against all odds, the blue whale endured, surviving the bloodiest chapter in ocean history, holding on through the silence, and now slowly reclaiming its place in the waters as a living symbol of resilience, a reminder of both the cruelty and the hope of humankind. And when a blue whale surfaces, releasing a misty spout that can rise over 30 feet into the sky, it is as if the ocean itself is breathing, a signal that one of Earth's greatest treasures still lives, still thrives, still glides beneath the waves. Its presence both humbling and uplifting, teaching us that greatness is not measured by domination, but by harmony, not by aggression, but by balance. For the blue whale, despite its enormous size, is peaceful, posing no threat to man, preferring instead the solitude of the open ocean. The migration routes that stretch thousands of miles between icy feeding grounds and warm tropical breeding waters, repeating journeys that have guided its ancestors for centuries. And within these migrations lies the story of endurance, a cycle of life and renewal that continues quietly in the hidden world of the sea, away from the noise of human civilization, in a realm where the whale is both guardian and traveler, a creature whose very existence defies imagination, whose very survival is a triumph of nature. And as we reflect on the reality that the largest animal to ever live on this planet still swims among us today, we are reminded of the immensity of the world, the vastness of the seas, and the fragile thread of life that binds us all. A reminder whispered in the deep calls of the whale that echo like a lullaby for the earth, carrying with them the voice of history, the voice of endurance, and the voice of nature's most extraordinary creation. For the blue whale is not simply the biggest animal on Earth. It is a living miracle, a symbol of what it means to endure, to survive, to inspire, and to fill the endless darkness of the ocean with a presence that is at once powerful, gentle, and eternal. Introduction to the giant of the ocean. The blue whale is the largest animal to ever exist on Earth, a creature so massive that even the largest dinosaurs cannot compare. Yet, despite its unimaginable size, it moves with elegance and calmness through the deep oceans, leaving those who witness it in awe of its presence. For this giant can reach up to 100 feet in length and weigh over 200 tons, making it the heaviest living being to ever roam our planet. And its very existence is a living testament to nature's limitless power. The blue whale is not simply a large animal, but a symbol of balance and survival. Its heart is the size of a small car and beats slowly to pump life through its colossal body, while its tongue alone weighs as much as an elephant. And yet this titan is not a predator of large prey, but survives by consuming tiny shrimp-like creatures called krill. Millions at a time, its calls resonate across oceans. Its spout reaches high into the sky, and its life is a mixture of strength, fragility, and grace, making it the true guardian of the sea. Anatomy of a giant. When we look at the anatomy of a blue whale, every detail speaks of magnificence and scale. Its heart is the largest of any creature, beating strong and steady to sustain a body that stretches longer than many commercial airplanes, while its veins are so wide that a child could crawl through them. Its mouth can take in nearly 90 tons of water at once, and its baleen plates filter out the krill that serve as its main diet. Its lungs hold enough air to allow dives lasting up to half an hour, and when it exhales, the mist can rise as tall as a 3-story building. Its skeleton is vast and heavy, yet perfectly designed to glide through the ocean with surprising grace. Its skin is mottled with blue and gray patterns, unique like fingerprints, blending into the depths to hide from predators, and its flippers stretch like wings, guiding its immense frame. Its entire body is a masterpiece of evolution, combining power, endurance, and elegance, making it not just the biggest animal, but one of the most extraordinary life forms on Earth. Feeding habits and diet. The blue whale's diet is one of the most fascinating paradoxes in nature. For while it is the biggest animal ever known, it feeds on some of the smallest creatures in the ocean, tiny shrimp-like animals known as krill, which gather in massive swarms in cold waters. And during feeding season, a blue whale may consume up to 4 tons of krill in a single day, taking in enormous mouthfuls of seawater and filtering them through its baleen plates, each gulp holding millions of krill that sustain its gigantic body. Its tongue alone, heavier than an elephant, presses the water out while trapping the food inside, and with each feeding dive, the whale strengthens its immense frame on creatures barely the size of a fingertip. This dependence on krill shows the delicate balance of ecosystems, for the survival of the largest animal is tied to the abundance of the smallest. And when krill populations shift with climate change, it directly impacts the future of the blue whale. a cycle that highlights the interconnectedness of life in the ocean, communication, and whale songs. The blue whale is not only a creature of size, but also of sound, producing the loudest calls of any animal on Earth. Sounds so powerful they can travel across entire oceans, resonating at low frequencies that are often below the range of human hearing. These calls are used to communicate with other whales hundreds of miles away, a language of the deep sea that scientists are still working to understand. For some calls are believed to attract mates, others to signal migration, and some to maintain contact between individuals. The whale's song is both haunting and beautiful, echoing through the vast darkness of the ocean like an ancient hymn of survival. And these sounds are essential for navigation in the open sea, where light cannot guide them and distance stretches endlessly. It is through sound that whales connect, and it is through their songs that they carry the voice of the ocean itself, an eternal lullaby that reminds us of the mystery and beauty that lives beneath the waves. Migration and life cycle. The life of a blue whale is one of constant movement, a cycle of migration between feeding grounds and breeding grounds that spans thousands of miles each year. In the summer, they travel to cold polar waters rich with krill, where they feed intensively to build up reserves. And in the winter, they migrate to warmer tropical seas to give birth and nurture their young. This journey is one of endurance, repeated for generations, and marks the rhythm of their lives. Calves are born already weighing several tons, nourished by rich milk from their mothers that allows them to grow rapidly in the first year of life. And these migrations are essential to their survival, guiding them between places of abundance and places of renewal across open waters that stretch beyond human imagination. This cycle of travel connects them to the Earth's seasons and to the health of the oceans, a reminder that their lives are deeply tied to the natural rhythms of the planet. Threats and challenges. Despite their massive size and seemingly invincible presence, blue whales face many threats, both natural and human-made. For while they have no real predators, aside from the occasional attack by orcas, the greatest danger has always come from human activity. In the past, they were hunted mercilessly. During the whaling era, their numbers reduced to the edge of extinction as they were slaughtered for oil, meat, and baleen. And though whaling has largely been banned, the scars of that history remain. Today, new threats arise in the form of ship strikes, entanglement in fishing gear, pollution, and above all, climate change, which disrupts the abundance of krill that sustains them. And as oceans warm and ecosystems shift, the survival of blue whales is once again uncertain. These challenges remind us that even the greatest creature on Earth is fragile in the face of human impact, and that protecting them is essential to preserving the balance of our planet's oceans. Role in the ocean ecosystem. The blue whale is not only an individual marvel, but also a vital part of the ocean ecosystem, for its feeding habits help regulate krill populations, and its massive movements stir nutrients throughout the water column, enriching the ocean and supporting the growth of plankton, the base of the marine food chain. And even in death, a whale's body sinking to the seafloor creates what scientists call a whale fall, a deep-sea ecosystem that can sustain life for decades, feeding countless organisms and fostering biodiversity in places where resources are scarce. Thus, the blue whale plays a role far greater than its size alone, serving as an architect of marine balance, a cycle of life and death that gives rise to new beginnings in the hidden depths, reminding us that the largest animal is also a key to sustaining the smallest, and in this way, it contributes to the overall health of the ocean, which in turn sustains life across the entire planet. Conservation and hope for the future. In recent decades, conservation efforts have brought hope to the story of the blue whale, as international protections, bans on commercial whaling, and marine sanctuaries have allowed populations to slowly recover. Though they remain endangered, the sight of a blue whale today is no longer as rare as it once was, a symbol of resilience. In the face of overwhelming odds, and with continued effort, their future may yet be secured. Conservation is not just about saving one species, but about protecting the entire ecosystem that supports them, from krill to plankton to the vast oceans themselves. And in doing so, we preserve the balance that sustains all life. The blue whale stands as a reminder of what can be lost and what can be saved, and its survival story inspires global awareness of the need to respect and protect our natural world. For if we can ensure the survival of the largest animal ever to exist, we can prove that hope is stronger than destruction, and that harmony with nature is still within our reach. Symbol of wonder and mystery, the blue whale is more than an animal. It is a symbol of wonder, an ambassador of the oceans, and a living reminder that our planet holds miracles beyond imagination. Its presence humbles us, reminding humanity of its smallness in the face of Earth's grandeur, and yet also inspiring awe at the beauty of life. The sight of a blue whale surfacing, releasing its mighty spout into the sky, is a moment of magic that stays in memory forever. Its song reverberates like a poem of the sea, connecting us to something older and deeper than human civilization. A reminder that the ocean has its own voice, its own rhythm, and its own stories to tell. The blue whale embodies mystery, survival, and majesty. It bridges the past with the present, connecting ancient evolutionary history to the living seas of today. And it challenges us to protect the oceans, not only for its survival, but for our own. For, in the end, the story of the whale is also the story of the earth. Closing reflection. As we reflect on the existence of the blue whale, the biggest animal to ever live, we find ourselves confronted with both awe and responsibility. Awe at its massive scale, its gentle nature, and its profound place in the web of life, and responsibility to ensure that such creatures continue to thrive for future generations. The blue whale is not just a marvel of biology, but a reminder of the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. And its survival is linked to the survival of oceans themselves, which in turn are tied to the health of the entire planet. Every time a whale surfaces and exhales, it feels like the ocean itself is breathing, a sign that life endures even against the greatest odds. A lesson that harmony, respect, and protection are the keys to survival. And as we listen to the quiet songs of these giants, we are reminded that the ocean still holds wonders we cannot fully understand, but can choose to honor, protect, and cherish. For in the blue whale we see not just the largest animal, but one of nature's greatest teachers. The whale as a living time capsule. The blue whale is like a living time capsule, carrying within its body the story of millions of years of evolution, survival, and adaptation. For every feature it possesses is a result of changes that took place across countless ages. From the baleen plates that filter its food to the blowhole that allows it to breathe air at the surface. Each part of its anatomy tells us how life found ways to thrive in the ocean. Its sheer size shows us the power of natural selection to create giants, while its reliance on small krill reminds us of the fragility of ecosystems. The whale itself has witnessed the rise of civilizations and the industrial age that nearly brought its kind to extinction. Yet it has continued to survive, moving silently through the seas, embodying history in motion. When we look at the blue whale, we are not only seeing the present, but glimpsing the living echoes of a past so deep it humbles our understanding, making this animal a bridge between time and life, a giant archive of nature's greatest story. The majesty of whale breathing. One of the most iconic sights of a blue whale is its mighty spout, a breath exhaled with such force that it rises high into the sky like a geyser, visible for miles across the sea. And this act of breathing is far more than simple survival. It is a display of power, grace, and connection to the surface world. The whale spends most of its life in the deep, yet it must return to breathe, linking two worlds together in a single motion: the calm rise, the mighty spout, and the slow descent again into the water create a rhythm that defines its life. Each breath is like the ocean itself exhaling, reminding us that beneath the waves, life pulses steadily. The blow of a whale is a moment of beauty for those lucky enough to witness it, a signal that the ocean's largest creature is near. And for centuries, sailors have marveled at this display, writing of it in stories and songs, making the breath of the whale both a symbol of survival and a mark of majesty. The legacy of whaling, the history of blue whales, cannot be told without the dark legacy of whaling, a period when humans hunted these giants in staggering numbers, driving them to the edge of extinction for their oil, meat, and baleen were seen as valuable resources, and ships pursued them relentlessly, leaving oceans that once echoed with their songs nearly silent. This chapter of history shows both the destructive power of greed and the fragility of even the mightiest creatures. Yet, despite the devastation, the blue whale endured, surviving through a century of slaughter to emerge once more as a living presence in the seas. International bans and conservation efforts arrived just in time to prevent total extinction. And today, we look back on whaling as a reminder of what is lost when nature is not respected. The scars of that era remain in the reduced numbers of blue whales, but their survival is a story of hope, resilience, and the possibility of renewal. Even after humanity's most damaging mistakes, the role of mothers and calves, the bond between a blue whale mother and her calf, is one of the most powerful relationships in the ocean. 4 calves are born already massive, weighing several tons at birth, yet they rely completely on the nurturing care of their mothers, who produce rich, fatty milk that allows the young to grow at astonishing rates, gaining hundreds of pounds. Each day, the calf remains close to its mother, protected and guided across the seas during the critical first year of life, learning the migrations, the feeding grounds, and the rhythms of the ocean. This bond is vital, not only for survival, but also for the continuation of the species, as each calf represents a future generation of giants. The sight of a mother and calf together is a rare and tender glimpse into the gentle side of these massive beings. A reminder that even the largest creatures on Earth rely on love, connection, and guidance to thrive, and that motherhood is a universal force of strength across all species. The whales. Connection to climate. The existence of the blue whale is deeply tied to the changing climate of our planet, for its life depends on the abundance of krill, and krill populations in turn depend on healthy oceans and stable temperatures. As climate change warms the seas and disrupts ecosystems, the food chain that sustains the largest animal on Earth becomes fragile. Yet whales also play a role in helping the planet, for their movements stir nutrients that feed plankton, and plankton absorbs massive amounts of carbon dioxide, helping to regulate the climate. Thus, the blue whale is both vulnerable to and vital for the stability of Earth's environment. Their presence shows the interconnection of life and climate, a cycle where protecting whales contributes to protecting the Earth, and where the health of the planet ensures the survival of whales, reminding us that in the end, the fate of these giants and the fate of humanity are bound together by the waters we share. Encounters with the giant four. Those who have been fortunate enough to see a blue whale in the wild. The experience is unforgettable. The immense size of the whale dwarfing even large boats, the sound of its breath carrying across the waves, and the graceful movement of its body cutting through the sea like a silent shadow. These encounters inspire awe and humility, for no matter how advanced human technology becomes, the simple presence of a whale reminds us of nature's power and mystery. Divers and researchers describe feelings of overwhelming peace and wonder when in the company of these giants, as if time slows down and the ocean reveals its heart. The whale does not attack or threaten, but simply moves with calm strength, showing us that greatness can exist without aggression, and each encounter leaves behind a story, a memory, and a lesson about coexistence, respect, and the beauty of life that is far larger than ourselves. The whale's role in human culture across history and cultures. Whales have inspired myths, legends, and stories, sometimes feared as sea monsters, other times revered as divine messengers of the ocean. In literature and art, they appear as symbols of mystery, endurance, and vastness. Their songs have been recorded and shared, becoming part of human culture as a bridge between our world and the deep. Even in modern times, the blue whale holds a place in our imagination, appearing in films, documentaries, and stories as a symbol of life's grandeur. And for indigenous communities in coastal regions, whales have held spiritual significance for centuries, representing the spirit of the ocean and the connection between humans and nature. The cultural legacy of the whale is as immense as the creature itself, shaping how we see the sea and our role within it, making the blue whale not just an animal, but a universal symbol of mystery, reverence, and inspiration. The secrets beneath the waves. Most of the life of a blue whale remains hidden from human eyes, for it spends much of its time deep beneath the surface, in places too vast and dark for us to follow. And in this hidden world, it feeds, communicates, and lives out its long lifespan. Scientists have only begun to understand the patterns of their lives, piecing together knowledge from rare sightings, sound recordings, and tracking devices. Yet, mysteries remain. such as how whales navigate vast distances, how they choose their breeding grounds, and what secret rituals might exist within their social structures. The ocean keeps its secrets well, and the blue whale is among its most guarded treasures, reminding us that no matter how much we discover, the sea still holds wonders that remain beyond our grasp, and that perhaps the greatest beauty lies not in answers, but in the mystery itself, a living secret gliding silently in the depths of the world's oceans. The gentle giant of the deep, though it is the largest animal to ever exist, the blue whale is a gentle being, never aggressive toward humans and rarely toward other animals. Its power lies in its size and its peace, for it needs no violence to survive, relying instead on endless krill swarms and calm migrations. This gentleness challenges our assumptions about strength, showing that true greatness comes not from domination, but from balance and harmony. The whale glides silently through the sea, commanding respect without force, inspiring awe without fear. It is called the gentle giant for good reason, a creature whose mere existence reshapes how we see power. And when one rises from the depths, it is not to conquer, but to breathe, to remind us that life thrives through patience and resilience, not through destruction. And in this way, the blue whale teaches a lesson far deeper than its ocean home, a lesson about the strength of gentleness, a symbol of hope for the future. In the survival of the blue whale lies a message of hope for humanity. For despite being hunted nearly to extinction, despite facing the ongoing threats of climate change, ship collisions, and pollution, the species has endured, slowly growing in number again, proving that when humanity chooses protection over destruction, recovery is possible. Their survival is not only about one species, but about the future of all life, reminding us that we can still make choices that allow nature to flourish. The blue whale stands as a symbol that it is never too late to change course, to restore balance, and to give back to the planet that sustains us. Seeing these giants thrive again is a vision of what can be achieved when respect replaces exploitation. And as long as their songs continue to echo through the seas, there is hope that life, in all its greatness and fragility, will continue to endure, reminding us that the story of the whale is also the story of our own future. The ocean's gentle giant, the blue whale, despite its size and power, is often called the gentle giant of the seas because its nature is calm, graceful, and largely harmless to other large creatures, for it feeds not on predators or rivals, but on some of the smallest life forms in the ocean, tiny krill that swarm in clouds beneath the surface. And this contrast between size and diet shows us the balance of nature, where the mightiest lives in harmony with the smallest. Its gentle movements through the water create no destruction, and even when breaching or diving, it seems to move with care. Its presence is awe-inspiring without being threatening, reminding us that strength need not be violent, and that greatness does not mean aggression. The whale's gentleness is a lesson in humility, showing how a creature so vast can live in peace with its surroundings, moving silently, breathing deeply, and existing as a guardian of balance in the ocean. Its calm nature makes it a living symbol of peace and magnificence. The sheer scale of a blue whale. To imagine the sheer scale of a blue whale is to test the limits of human imagination, for its body can stretch longer than 3 buses placed end to end. Its tongue alone weighs as much as an elephant, and its massive mouth can hold 100 people, yet it feeds on organisms that are nearly invisible to the eye. This paradox of size and diet makes the whale one of nature's greatest wonders. Its body is not only the largest today, but the largest ever to exist in Earth's history, even bigger than the dinosaurs of old. Its presence dwarfs ships when it rises alongside them, leaving witnesses speechless. Sailors throughout history wrote of these giants with awe, describing their size in words that seemed unbelievable. Yet science confirms these tales, making the scale of the blue whale a reality beyond exaggeration. Its vastness is both humbling and inspiring, reminding us of how small we are against the wonders of life in the oceans. The diet of a giant, the diet of a blue whale, may surprise those who first imagine such a vast creature. For instead of devouring large prey, it depends on krill, shrimp-like animals that gather in immense swarms, and with each gulp, the whale takes in thousands of liters of water, using its baleen plates to filter the food and expel the rest. This feeding strategy allows the whale to sustain its gigantic body, for during the feeding season, it may consume several tons of krill each day, building the fat reserves it needs to survive long migrations. The balance between predator and prey is delicate, for the whale's life depends entirely on the abundance of krill, and the health of oceans determines whether these swarms will thrive. The diet of the giant is a reminder of how even the mightiest depend on the tiniest, and how fragile the chain of survival can be. It is a dance of scale and necessity that keeps the ocean alive and balanced. The whale's echo in human culture. The blue whale has left its echo in human culture for centuries, inspiring myths, legends, art, and literature. For ancient sailors spoke of sea monsters so large they could swallow ships. Stories likely inspired by the sight of whales rising from the waves, and later writers and poets used whales as symbols of power, mystery, and the unknown. The whale became a metaphor for challenges too vast to comprehend, and for the sea's unfathomable depths. In modern times, the blue whale appears in films, documentaries, and stories as a symbol of nature's magnificence, its image representing conservation, endurance, and the fragile beauty of life. Cultures that once hunted whales now celebrate their survival, showing how human perception has shifted from fear and exploitation to respect and wonder. The echo of the whale in human imagination is proof of its impact, making it not just a creature of the seas, but a giant presence in the story of humanity. The whale's role in the ecosystem. The blue whale is not only a marvel of size, but also a crucial player in the ocean ecosystem. For its feeding stirs nutrients, its waste fertilizes the water, and its sheer movements shape the life around it by consuming krill and redistributing energy. It helps maintain balance in the food chain. Its migrations connect different oceanic regions, making it a traveler that links ecosystems together. And even after death, its body provides nourishment for countless species at the seafloor, creating entire temporary ecosystems known as whale falls. In this way, the whale's life and death both serve the ocean, reminding us that nature designs no life in isolation. Each creature plays its role in the grand balance, and the blue whale's role is both immense and subtle, visible in the surface splash, yet hidden in the cycles of nutrients, making it not only the largest but one of the most important creatures in sustaining ocean health. The songs of giants, the songs of blue whales, are among the most haunting and mysterious sounds in nature. Deep, low-frequency calls that can travel across entire oceans. And while humans cannot hear most of these frequencies without equipment, they resonate in the deep as powerful vibrations. Scientists believe these songs serve many purposes, from navigation to mating calls to long-distance communication, yet their full meaning remains a mystery. What is certain is that these songs connect whales across vast distances, creating a network of sound beneath the waves. Their calls are like the heartbeat of the sea, ancient and enduring. Some recordings last minutes, others hours, forming patterns as complex as music. To listen to these songs is to hear the voice of the ocean itself, carrying messages older than human language, and to realize that life speaks in ways beyond our understanding. The songs of giants remind us that silence is never empty, for the ocean is alive with voices we can barely begin to comprehend the challenges of survival despite its size and power. The blue whale faces many challenges to survival in the modern world, from ship strikes that injure or kill whales during migrations, to entanglement in fishing gear that can trap them, to the rising threat of climate change altering krill populations. These giants depend on healthy oceans, yet pollution, noise, and warming seas disrupt their lives. Commercial whaling nearly destroyed them in the past, and while they are now protected, their numbers remain far lower than they once were. Survival requires constant balance against these threats, yet the resilience of the whale shows in its persistence. It continues to travel, feed, and sing, surviving in oceans shaped more and more by human activity. The challenges it faces remind us of the urgent need for conservation, for if the largest animal to ever live is at risk, then so too is the health of the entire ocean, and with it the stability of our planet. The whale's calming presence for those who have witnessed a blue whale in the wild. There is a sense of calm that lingers long after, for despite its size and might, it moves with such peace that the experience is humbling. Divers speak of the silence when a whale passes, a silence not of emptiness, but of presence, as though the ocean itself has paused to honor its passing. The whale's movements are slow, deliberate, and graceful. Its calm radiates through the water and even above the surface. Its blow and dive create a rhythm that soothes. This calming presence has made the whale a symbol of peace in many cultures, its image appearing in art and meditation as a reminder of serenity. To be near a whale is to feel the weight of time, the patience of life, and the stillness of the deep sea, and this feeling shows us that calm is not weakness but strength, and that peace can be as powerful as the mightiest force. The global citizen of the seas, the blue whale, belongs not to any single country or ocean, but to the entire planet, for it travels across national boundaries, migrating through international waters, and appearing in seas from the Arctic to the Antarctic. Its presence is global, its life a reminder that nature recognizes no borders. Protecting the whale requires cooperation among nations, a unity of effort that mirrors the whale's own movement across the globe. Its survival is tied to the health of every ocean, making it a true global citizen as it swims silently through. Waters claimed by many, yet owned by none. The whale represents the shared responsibility of humanity. For people from every corner of the world look to the whale with awe and respect, making it not just a creature of the seas, but a uniting force. Proof that some wonders belong to all of us, and that the ocean's greatest treasures cannot be divided, but must be preserved together. The whale as a symbol of hope above all. The blue whale stands as a symbol of hope, for, despite centuries of hunting, despite the threats of modern times, its numbers slowly rising as protection and conservation take hold, and every sighting of a whale in the wild is a triumph of endurance, a sign that recovery is possible. Its survival shows that humanity, when united, can change its path from destruction to preservation. It symbolizes the possibility of harmony between humans and nature, standing as a living reminder that hope is never lost, that giants can endure, and that the ocean still carries life worth saving. The blue whale's survival is not only its own victory, but a message to us all, a call to protect, respect, and live in balance. Represents power, grace, and beauty all at once. And when it breaches the surface, sending cascades of water into the sky, it reminds us of the living wonders beneath the waves. Its size dwarfs ships and stirs emotions of awe and humility. Its sheer existence is a testimony to nature's artistry, showing how life adapts to extremes and flourishes even in the vastest environments. The majesty lies not only in its dimensions, but in the calmness with which it rules the seas, needing no force, no aggression, only presence. Its heartbeat resonates through the waters, making it not merely a creature, but a symbol of the ocean itself. It is a monarch without crown or throne, existing in silence, yet commanding respect. The majesty of the deep lives in every sighting, every song, every dive into the unknown. The whale's journey across oceans. Every year, blue whales undertake some of the longest migrations of any animal, traveling thousands of miles from feeding grounds in polar regions to breeding grounds in warmer waters. Their journeys span entire oceans, connecting ecosystems and carrying their presence to distant shores. Guided by instincts older than human civilization, these journeys are essential for survival, for they feed where krill thrives and reproduce. Where life can begin, the migration is not a choice, but a rhythm written into their being. And along the way, they face challenges of ships, storms, and shifting climates. Yet they persist, season after season, century after century, each journey reminding us of endurance and purpose. They move silently across borders and nations, ignoring the lines humans draw, showing that the ocean is one connected body and that life flows without boundaries. Their journey is a story of survival, of connection, and of unbroken cycles. The whale's gentle power often conjures images of force, domination, and destruction. Yet the blue whale redefines power as something gentle, steady, and balanced. Its immense body can stir the sea with a single movement, yet it chooses grace. Its strength lies not in violence, but in harmony, sustaining itself with tiny krill, moving calmly and existing peacefully. Its gentle power is a reminder that might does not require aggression. It is enough to be vast, enduring, and present. When it dives, the ocean shifts. When it surfaces, the world listens, yet no destruction follows. Its life embodies power that creates balance, not chaos. And this lesson extends beyond the sea, teaching us that true strength lies in patience, humility, and coexistence. The whale shows that the most powerful beings can also be the most peaceful, making its existence both inspiring and humbling for those who seek meaning in the natural world. The whale in ancient legends. For as long as humans have sailed the seas, the whale has appeared in ancient legends, stories of sea monsters capable of swallowing ships whole, tales of leviathans rising from the depths to challenge mankind, and myths that saw whales as guardians, gods, or omens. These legends were born from awe and fear, for sailors encountering whales could not comprehend their size or power, so they wrapped them in mystery. Cultures across the world told stories of whales carrying islands on their backs or battling storms. In some traditions, whales symbolized wisdom and protection, in others destruction and chaos. The dual image of the whale as both creator and destroyer reflects the complexity of the sea itself, a place of life and death, but a mythical presence woven into the very fabric of human storytelling. The language of the whale, the blue whale, speaks in a language unlike any other, through low-frequency sounds that travel for hundreds of miles beneath the waves, forming one of the most far-reaching communication systems on Earth. These sounds are songs and signals, carrying meaning we cannot fully grasp. Scientists study their patterns, rhythms, and frequencies, yet much remains a mystery. Do these calls express emotion, identity, or maps of the sea? Do they connect whales separated by vast distances? What we know is that this language shapes their social lives, their mating, and their survival. It is a form of speech, not of words, but of vibrations, a reminder that communication extends beyond human understanding. The whale's language is deep and ancient, predating human tongues by millions of years, and it resonates as proof that intelligence and connection exist in many forms. The ocean is alive with voices, and the whale's language is its deepest song. The breathing giants, though they spend most of their lives beneath the surface. Whales are creatures of air, needing to rise to breathe, each blowhole exhalation sending mist into the sky, like the breath of the ocean itself. This act connects them to the world above, making them part of both sea and sky. Their survival depends on breathing as ours does, and their rhythmic surfacing is a heartbeat of the ocean. Each breath is powerful, carrying life through their immense bodies, yet it is also fragile, for they must come to the surface in a world increasingly dangerous with ships and noise. The breathing giants remind us that no matter how vast, all life depends on simple acts like air, water, and balance, and that even the largest living being shares this vulnerability. Their breath is a gift of survival, a bridge between the unseen deep and the visible world, and each time they rise, the sea exhales with them, reminding us of shared life. The whale and climate balance. Blue whales play a surprising role in climate balance, for their feeding, migration, and waste distribution recycle nutrients in the ocean, creating conditions for phytoplankton to thrive. These microscopic plants absorb vast amounts of carbon dioxide, producing oxygen and regulating the climate. Without whales, the ocean's ability to manage carbon would weaken. Their presence thus becomes vital, not only for marine ecosystems, but for life on Earth. By sustaining krill populations and fertilizing waters, whales indirectly help stabilize the planet. They are engineers of the sea, shaping invisible cycles that determine climate. Their decline would ripple into crises we cannot ignore, making their survival not just a matter of conservation, but of human future. The whale's link to climate balance is proof that the smallest details of nature connect to the largest systems, and that protecting whales is protecting the very breath of Earth itself. The whale's hidden strength beyond its size and calmness. The whale holds hidden strength in endurance, survival, and adaptation, having lived through ages of change, ice ages, hunting eras, and modern threats. Its species persists as a survivor of history. Its strength lies not only in its physical mass, but in its ability to withstand challenges, storms, and scarcity. It is not invincible, yet it is resilient, embodying the idea that strength is not absence of weakness, but the capacity to endure. Through it, the whale's hidden strength is patience, traveling thousands of miles with quiet persistence, feeding tirelessly, and continuing to sing despite dangers. It carries within its body scars of battles with orcas, collisions with ships, and wounds of harpoons. Yet it moves forward, alive and enduring, a living monument of survival. Its hidden strength inspires us to see endurance as the truest form of power, and resilience as the key to existence. The whale's connection to humanity, despite living in oceans far from most people's daily lives, the whale holds a strong connection to humanity, inspiring awe, curiosity, and even spiritual meaning. For people who have seen them, the memory lasts a lifetime. For those who have not, the idea itself sparks wonder. Whales remind us of the scale of life and the mysteries that remain unexplored. Conservation groups and nations unite to protect them, making them symbols of global cooperation. Artists paint them, writers describe them, filmmakers capture their presence, and cultures celebrate them. This connection shows how one species can touch the hearts of millions without direct contact, reminding us that empathy extends beyond borders, species, and environments. The whale's survival is not just its story, but ours. For how we treat them reflects how we treat the Earth. Their connection to humanity is an invisible bridge, joining sea and land, wild and human, life and imagination. The eternal legacy of whales, the legacy of whales is eternal, written not only in the vastness of their bodies, but in the history of Earth itself. For they are ancient beings, descendants of land animals that returned to the sea, evolving into the largest life forms ever to exist. Their story is a timeline of adaptation, endurance, and balance. Their survival has shaped ecosystems, cultures, and the planet's cycles. Even if one day humans vanish, the songs of whales may still echo in the deep, carrying the memory of life's resilience. Their legacy is not limited to biology or ecology, but extends into the human spirit. As metaphors of greatness, patience, and harmony, they remind us that life's greatest wonders often move silently beyond our cities, beyond our reach, yet shaping our destiny. The eternal legacy of whales is a reminder that some giants exist not to dominate, but to guide, and that their presence will endure in memory, story, and sea. The blue whale's ancient origins. The blue whale traces its ancestry back millions of years. Two small, land-dwelling mammals that gradually adapted to life in the oceans, evolving limbs into fins, developing streamlined bodies, and learning to hold their breath for extended dives. Over time, these ancestors grew larger and more specialized, eventually becoming the giants we see today. Every aspect of their anatomy reflects this deep history, from the baleen plates that filter their tiny prey to the massive tail that propels their enormous bodies through the water. Understanding the whale's origins gives insight into evolution's power, showing how small creatures can transform into the largest beings on Earth. Their lineage is a living connection to prehistoric oceans, a story written in DNA and anatomy, surviving ice ages, environmental changes, and human threats. The ancient origins of whales remind us that life adapts in extraordinary ways, and that even the mightiest creatures have humble beginnings, making the blue whale both a relic and a marvel of evolution, a testament to endurance, transformation, and the passage of time. The anatomy of a giant, designed to support a body that can reach over 90 feet in length and weigh over 200 tons, from the enormous, heart-pumping gallons of blood through massive arteries to the baleen plates that sieve krill from seawater. Each system works in harmony to sustain life at an incredible scale. Its skeletal structure provides both flexibility and strength, allowing smooth movement through deep waters. Muscles and fat layers conserve energy while regulating temperature, and its sensory organs detect subtle changes in the environment, enabling navigation across vast oceans. Even its skin hosts tiny organisms that form part of the marine ecosystem, reflecting the interconnectedness of life. Studying the anatomy of the blue whale reveals not only the mechanics of size, but also the beauty of adaptation, a symphony of function and survival that exemplifies nature's ingenuity, demonstrating that even the largest animals are finely tuned to the world around them. The whale's social life. Blue whales are not solitary in every sense. They exhibit complex social behaviors, interacting with others through vocalizations, coordinated feeding, and brief companionships. While they do not form permanent pods like some dolphins, temporary groups may gather where food is abundant, and communication between individuals involves low-frequency calls that carry over hundreds of miles. These interactions help coordinate migration, mating, and feeding strategies, and they may even convey information across generations, though much remains mysterious. Observing whales together shows cooperation and subtle social intelligence, revealing that these giants are not just massive bodies, but aware beings capable of connection, awareness, and responsiveness to each other's presence. Their social life, though hidden beneath the waves, is essential for survival, creating networks of communication and support, demonstrating that even the largest creatures benefit from companionship and interaction. Reflecting the deep intelligence of life in the oceans, the migration patterns of blue whales. Blue whales undertake some of the longest migrations of any animal, traveling thousands of miles from polar feeding grounds to tropical breeding areas, following ancient routes that have guided generations, timing their movements with the availability of food and the need for reproduction. Calves are born in warmer waters before accompanying their mothers to krill-rich regions, a journey that can last months, facing storms, predators, and human threats along the way. These migrations are both instinctive and essential, ensuring survival and continuity of the species. The movement across oceans connects ecosystems, distributing nutrients and linking different marine regions. Tracking these migrations reveals patterns that inform conservation, showing how the largest animals depend on both local and global ocean health. The persistence and endurance displayed in these journeys inspire awe, reminding us that the sea is vast, life is interconnected, and survival requires both movement and adaptation. The feeding habits of the giant, despite its immense size, the blue whale feeds almost exclusively on some of the smallest creatures in the ocean krill, tiny shrimp-like organisms that gather in dense swarms, and to consume them efficiently. The whale opens its massive mouth and takes in thousands of gallons of water, using its baleen plates to filter out the krill while expelling the water. During feeding season, an adult may consume several tons of krill each day, building fat reserves to sustain long migrations. This method of feeding demonstrates nature's efficiency, turning the smallest prey into sustenance for the largest body. It is a delicate balance, as krill populations depend on healthy oceans, and any disruption threatens the whale's survival. Yet the whale has thrived using this strategy for millions of years, showing that even the largest creatures can rely on the smallest, and that the harmony of the ecosystem is vital for life. The feeding habits of blue whales are both a marvel of biology and a lesson in interdependence. The sound of the sea blue whales communicate with low-frequency sounds that can travel across entire ocean basins, creating a symphony of deep, resonant calls that humans cannot hear without equipment. These songs serve many functions, from guiding other whales to signaling readiness to mate or marking presence in feeding areas. The structure and rhythm of their calls vary by region and population, suggesting cultural transmission across generations. Scientists continue to decode these messages, yet much remains mysterious. The sound of the sea is a medium through which these giants maintain connection, navigate, and interact, demonstrating intelligence, social awareness, and the capacity to influence the environment around them. Their songs are echoes of evolution, reminders that the oceans are alive with communication, and that the largest beings depend not only on physical strength, but on language, rhythm, and resonance to survive and thrive in the deep. Threats from the modern world, though once abundant, blue whales face threats from the modern world, including ship strikes, entanglement in fishing gear, climate change, pollution, and noise. These dangers disrupt their migration, feeding, and communication, posing risks to reproduction and survival. Commercial whaling nearly drove them to extinction in the 20th century, and while protection has allowed some recovery, their populations remain vulnerable. These threats illustrate how human activity impacts even the largest creatures, highlighting the need for international cooperation and effective conservation. Blue whales are indicators of ocean health, reflecting the balance of ecosystems, and their decline would signal deeper environmental problems. Protecting them is a moral and ecological imperative, requiring awareness, action, and respect, showing that survival is not guaranteed, even for giants. Without mindful stewardship of the planet, the whale's reproduction cycle. Reproduction in blue whales is a slow and deliberate process, with mating occurring in warmer waters during specific seasons, and calves born after an 11-month gestation period weighing several tons at birth, entirely dependent on their mother's care, feeding on rich milk to grow rapidly. The mother and calf bond is critical for survival, guiding the young through migration. Feeding and learning behaviors essential to life. Reproduction is tied to food abundance, health, and environmental conditions, making it sensitive to human and climate-related pressures. The cycle of birth, growth, and maturity ensures the continuity of these giants, reflecting both vulnerability and resilience, and showing that even the largest animals must invest deeply in raising the next generation, passing knowledge, instincts, and survival skills through intimate bonds. The symbolism of the blue whale throughout history. The blue whale has symbolized majesty, strength, and endurance, representing both the unknown power of the sea and the fragility of life. In art, literature, and culture, whales have inspired, becoming metaphors for challenges, patience, and mystery. In modern times, they serve as symbols of conservation, resilience, and the importance of protecting nature. Their image evokes both humility and wonder, reminding humans of the scale and beauty of the natural world and the interconnectedness of all life. From tiny krill to the largest mammal on Earth, the blue whale is a living emblem, a giant presence that teaches respect, responsibility, and hope, showing that life's most magnificent creations are also its most delicate. Their symbolism extends beyond biology into philosophy, ethics, and imagination, making the whale both a creature and a guide in understanding our place in the world. The whales. Longevity. Blue whales can live up to 90 years or more, making them among the longest-lived mammals on Earth. And throughout this lifespan, they experience generations of environmental change, encounters with predators, and human impacts. Their longevity allows them to pass on behaviors and knowledge across decades, from migration routes to feeding strategies, which are critical for survival. This extended lifespan also makes them indicators of ocean health, as long-lived species reflect stability and disruption alike. The aging whale carries the history of the ocean within its body, each scar, call, and movement a record of life lived in the deep. Studying their longevity provides insight into biology, adaptation, and resilience, showing how large, complex organisms thrive over time, and emphasizing the importance of protecting environments that allow such magnificent creatures to live full lives. Their long lives are a testament to endurance, wisdom, and continuity in the natural world. The whale's role in marine biodiversity. The presence of blue whales influences the balance and richness of marine life, as their feeding and movement cycle nutrients through the water, supporting plankton growth, which in turn sustains krill and the broader food web. Their activities indirectly benefit fish, seabirds, and other marine mammals, highlighting the interconnectedness of life. Each whale acts as a keystone species, shaping ecosystems far beyond its immediate feeding area. Without their presence, the ocean's balance would shift, demonstrating that even the largest animals depend on and contribute to biodiversity. Their survival ensures the vitality of countless species, emphasizing that protecting whales is not just saving a single species, but preserving the web of life, showing that life in the ocean is a complex network where every action has impact, and where the blue whale plays a central, sustaining role. The migration's hidden dangers. During migration, blue whales face numerous hidden dangers, from collisions with ships to entanglement in fishing nets, from polluted waters to noise interference that disrupts communication. Each threat can reduce survival chances, and yet the whales continue their epic journeys across oceans, relying on instinct, endurance, and the lessons passed down from generations. These hidden dangers illustrate the challenges of living in a human-dominated world, where natural paths intersect with technology and exploitation. The whale's resilience is remarkable, surviving despite obstacles that humans introduce, and studying these dangers helps scientists propose measures for mitigation, showing that coexistence is possible if awareness and effort guide human actions, and that even giants are vulnerable to unseen threats, reminding us of our responsibility to the environment and the creatures we share it with. The whales deep. Diving blue whales are capable of deep dives, reaching hundreds of meters below the surface, where light diminishes and pressures increase. Yet they navigate and hunt efficiently in this dark, vast realm, using oxygen stored in muscles and blood to remain submerged for up to an hour. Their dives allow access to rich feeding grounds and avoidance of surface dangers, and every plunge is a calculated exercise of biology and instinct. Deep diving shows the whale's remarkable adaptations, from specialized lungs to efficient circulatory systems, making it a master of both surface and depth. The quiet solitude of these dives contrasts with their visible surface behavior, revealing a hidden life full of strategy, survival, and mystery, reminding us that most of life occurs unseen, yet is vital to the health of the planet. The whale's impact on carbon cycling. Blue whales contribute significantly to carbon cycling, a process that influences global climate. Their feeding and excretion recycle nutrients and stimulate plankton growth, which absorbs carbon dioxide, making whales indirect but powerful allies against climate change. This whale pump illustrates the profound effect one species can have on the environment. Their movement and presence in the oceans enhance productivity and stabilize ecosystems. And while small individually, collectively their impact is immense. The whale's role in carbon cycling emphasizes that protecting large marine species is essential not only for biodiversity, but for regulating the planet's climate, showing that giants of the sea play roles invisible yet vital to life across the globe, reminding humanity that conservation has far-reaching consequences. The cultural reverence of whales across cultures. Whales have inspired reverence, mythology, and storytelling, often depicted as symbols of wisdom, endurance, and the power of nature. Indigenous peoples regard whales as sacred beings, guiding spirits or protectors of the sea, while modern literature and media use them as emblems of environmental consciousness. The blue whale's presence resonates deeply with human imagination, reminding us that awe and respect can shape behavior and values. This cultural reverence has influenced conservation, inspiring efforts to protect the species, and highlights that the relationship between humans and whales goes beyond science, touching spirituality, ethics, and identity, showing that understanding and valuing life creates bonds that drive positive change, making the whale a cultural as well as ecological treasure. The importance of conservation of blue whales is crucial to ensure the survival of the species and the health of marine ecosystems. International laws, protected areas, and anti-whaling measures have aided their recovery, yet threats from shipping, climate change, and pollution remain. Protecting their habitats and migration paths is essential, as is monitoring population growth and health. Conservation demonstrates the capacity of humans to act responsibly, showing that with awareness, legislation, and global cooperation, species on the brink can recover. The blue whale stands as proof that dedicated efforts yield results, reminding us that every individual policy and action contributes to the protection of life, emphasizing the importance of stewardship and highlighting the connection between ecological health and human responsibility for future generations. The whale's influence on science. Studying blue whales has advanced science in numerous ways, from understanding marine mammal physiology to uncovering migration patterns and acoustic communication. Tracking these giants provides insight into ocean ecology, climate impact, and evolutionary biology. Their size, longevity, and behavior challenge scientists to innovate methods of research, and every discovery contributes to our knowledge of life on Earth. The whale serves as a living laboratory, revealing principles of adaptation, endurance, and ecosystem interconnection. Their study has inspired technology, conservation strategies, and educational programs, showing that observing a single species can transform our understanding of the planet. Beyond being a subject of wonder, is a critical agent for advancing human knowledge and awareness. The whale as an environmental indicator. Blue whales serve as environmental indicators, reflecting the health of oceans and ecosystems. Their presence, behavior, and population trends signal changes in krill abundance, ocean temperatures, and pollution levels. Scientists use these indicators to assess broader environmental conditions, showing that protecting whales benefits the entire marine community. These indicators remind us that ecosystems are interconnected and that observing one species provides insight into many others. The whale's sensitivity to changes makes it both vulnerable and invaluable, revealing imbalances and guiding corrective measures. Their role as environmental sentinels emphasizes the responsibility humans have in preserving habitats, and highlights that the health of giants mirrors the health of the planet, linking their survival to our stewardship of Earth. The future of blue whales. The future of blue whales depends on continued conservation, climate action, and sustainable human practices, with populations slowly recovering but still far below historical levels, ensuring safe migration routes, reducing ship strikes, controlling pollution, and maintaining krill abundance are essential. Ongoing research, international cooperation, and public awareness will determine whether these giants thrive. For centuries to come, their survival represents hope, resilience, and the possibility of living in balance with nature. The blue whale's future is not only a reflection of conservation success, but also a measure of humanity's ability to coexist responsibly with the natural world. And as these magnificent beings continue to glide through the oceans, their survival will remain a symbol of hope, endurance, and the enduring power of life on Earth. The blue whale's unique physiology. The blue whale's physiology is uniquely adapted to support its immense size, from a heart the size of a small car to a circulatory system capable of pumping massive amounts of blood. Its lungs store oxygen efficiently for long dives, Muscles are optimized for strength and endurance, and a thick layer of blubber regulates temperature in frigid waters. Even the skin hosts tiny organisms forming part of the ecosystem. Every aspect of the body reflects millions of years of evolution, allowing a mammal to thrive as the largest animal on Earth. Specialized adaptations support feeding, migration, and reproduction, ensuring survival across oceans. The physiology of the blue whale is a testament to nature's engineering, demonstrating that scale, efficiency, and resilience can coexist, and that life evolves in ways both astonishing and precise, making the whale a living marvel of biology, capable of surviving extreme environments and sustaining the ecosystem around it. The blue whale's interaction with other species. Blue whales interact with numerous other species in ways both subtle and vital. From krill they feed on to the tiny organisms living on their skin, from orcas that may occasionally attack calves to birds that follow them for feeding opportunities. Each interaction demonstrates interconnectedness in the ocean. Whales influence populations, distribute nutrients, and even support life at the ocean floor when they die. Their presence shapes food webs and ecosystem dynamics. Interactions extend beyond feeding to social and environmental effects, showing that even the largest animals do not exist in isolation. Studying these relationships highlights the complexity of marine life, the dependence of species on one another, and the ripple effects of disruption. Blue whales exemplify how every creature, regardless of size, is part of a vast, interdependent web, reminding humans of the importance of protecting entire ecosystems. The blue whale's adaptation to ocean life adaptation has allowed blue whales to survive in oceans across the globe, from freezing polar waters to temperate seas. Evolving features such as streamlined bodies for efficient swimming, baleen plates for filter feeding, and deep diving capabilities to exploit underwater resources. Seasonal migration patterns demonstrate their ability to adjust behavior to food availability, environmental conditions, and reproductive needs. These adaptations are the result of millions of years of evolution, optimizing physiology, behavior, and social structures for survival. Even their reproductive strategies and caffering habits show intricate responses to oceanic pressures. Adaptation is evident in their capacity to withstand predators, navigate vast distances, and communicate over incredible ranges. The blue whale's life is a study in resilience, illustrating that survival depends on flexibility, intelligence, and harmony with the environment, proving that evolution equips even the largest beings with the tools to thrive in dynamic, challenging habitats. The impact of human activity has profoundly impacted blue whales, both positively and negatively, from near extinction due to whaling to population recovery under international protection. Threats persist in ship collisions, fishing net entanglement, ocean pollution, and climate change. Human noise disrupts communication, migration, and feeding, and even subtle ecological changes affect krill availability. Conservation efforts show that mitigation is possible through policy, awareness, and cooperation, highlighting humanity's dual role as both threat and protector. The impact of human activity reminds us that even the ocean's giants are vulnerable to our choices, and that the responsibility for their survival lies in our actions. Protecting these animals requires global collaboration, informed science, and sustainable practices, demonstrating that coexistence is achievable when knowledge and respect guide behavior. And the future of blue whales is directly linked to human stewardship of the oceans. The blue whale's migration mysteries. Despite extensive research, much about blue whale migration remains mysterious. From how they navigate thousands of miles with precision to what cues trigger departures and arrivals, scientists use tracking devices, acoustics, and satellite monitoring to uncover patterns. Yet questions about social learning, memory, and environmental sensing persist. Migration involves energy management, predator avoidance, and coordination with reproductive cycles, illustrating a complex balance of instinct, physiology, and environment. These mysteries challenge our understanding of marine life, revealing the limits of human knowledge and showing that the ocean still holds secrets larger than life itself. Studying these migrations teaches us about resilience, survival strategies, and adaptation, and reminds us that even the largest creatures in existence operate within delicate, finely tuned systems we are only beginning to understand, inspiring curiosity, respect, and ongoing exploration. The role of whales in ocean culture. Whales have long been central to human culture, inspiring art, mythology, literature, and modern media, from ancient myths of leviathans to contemporary documentaries highlighting conservation. They symbolize power, mystery, and wisdom, and in many societies, they are revered as sacred or spiritual beings. This cultural role influences behavior, conservation priorities, and public imagination, connecting people emotionally to the oceans. Through storytelling, art, and education, whales shape identity, ethics, and awareness, reminding humanity of its connection to the natural world. The blue whale, as the largest species, embodies this symbolic power, bridging the gap between nature and culture, and demonstrating that ecological significance and cultural resonance can coexist, creating a relationship that motivates protection, inspires curiosity, and deepens appreciation for the natural world. The blue whale's mysterious deep water life. Much of a blue whale's life occurs beneath the ocean surface, hidden from human observation in dark, cold waters where pressures are immense and light is minimal. Yet they navigate, feed, and communicate with efficiency using adaptations like oxygen storage, sensitive hearing, and streamlined bodies. These deep water activities are essential for survival, allowing access to krill, avoiding surface threats, and conserving energy, yet remain largely mysterious, as humans can only glimpse them occasionally. Understanding this hidden life provides insights into physiology, behavior, and ecosystem dynamics, revealing how life thrives in extreme, unseen environments. The mystery underscores the ocean's vastness and complexity, and reminds us that much of the natural world operates beyond our direct perception, waiting to be discovered, studied, and respected. The whale's influence on oceanic science. Blue whales have significantly influenced oceanic science, from marine biology and acoustics to climate studies and ecosystem research. Tracking their movements reveals insights into migration, feeding, and behavior, while their physiology informs understanding of mammalian adaptation. Their presence and recovery indicate ocean health, shaping policy, research priorities, and conservation strategies. Studying whales inspires technological innovation, from satellite tagging to acoustic monitoring, advancing broader scientific knowledge. The whale's influence extends beyond individual species, providing data critical for understanding marine environments, climate change, and biodiversity, highlighting the role of iconic species in guiding human comprehension and proving that observing giants like the blue whale can transform our understanding of the planet and its intricate web of life. The hope for future generations. The future of blue whales offers hope for both the species and humanity, demonstrating that conservation efforts, international cooperation, and environmental awareness can reverse past damage. Their slow but steady population recovery shows resilience and the possibility of coexistence with humans. Continued protection of migration routes, feeding grounds, and habitats is essential, as is reducing threats from ships, pollution, and climate change. Educating future generations about the importance of whales ensures that respect and stewardship endure. Their survival embodies optimism, reminding us that humans have the power to protect, restore, and nurture. The hope for future generations is tied to the choices we make today, and ensuring that these magnificent giants continue to glide through oceans is a symbol of life's resilience, endurance, and the positive impact of conscious action on the natural world. The blue whales feeding efficiency. Blue whales have evolved an extraordinary feeding efficiency, consuming several tons of krill in a single day, using their baleen plates to filter vast amounts of water. Each feeding session requires precision and energy management, as the whale must open its enormous mouth, engulf water and prey, and then expel the water while trapping krill. This method maximizes caloric intake with minimal effort, ensuring survival across long migrations. Feeding occurs primarily in nutrient-rich polar regions, where krill densities are highest, and the whale's timing is synchronized with seasonal blooms, illustrating a remarkable adaptation to the rhythms of the ocean. Studying this efficiency reveals the intricate balance between predator and prey, the interconnectedness of ecosystems, and the importance of conserving both species and habitats, showing that even the largest animals rely on finely tuned strategies to thrive in nature's complex web. The whale's breaching behavior. Breaching, the spectacular act of leaping partially or fully out of the water, is a behavior observed in blue whales, serving multiple purposes from communication to parasite removal and play. The force required to launch such a massive body illustrates power and control, while the splash and sound may signal presence to other whales across distances. Breaching also demonstrates health, strength, and vitality. Researchers study these behaviors to understand social interactions, stress levels, and environmental conditions. It is a moment of visibility in otherwise hidden lives, captivating humans and inspiring. The whale's breaching behavior emphasizes that even the largest mammals engage in actions of joy, necessity, and expression, blending instinct with purpose, and providing a rare glimpse into the dynamic and interactive lives of these gentle giants. The blue whale's sensory perception. Blue whales rely on finely tuned sensory perception to navigate, hunt, and communicate across vast oceans. Their hearing is especially acute, capable of detecting low-frequency sounds over hundreds of miles, while vision is adapted for both surface and underwater environments. Touch and pressure detection help them sense movement and obstacles, and their sense of smell plays a role in social interactions. This complex sensory system allows them to survive, find food, and interact despite the challenges of deep and open water. Studying these abilities informs scientists about marine mammal biology, communication, and behavior, and highlights the sophisticated adaptations required for life at massive scale. The whale's sensory perception demonstrates the importance of multiple modalities working together, and reveals how evolution has perfected tools for survival in a demanding environment, showing that even the largest creatures rely on refined senses to thrive. The whale's role in ocean. Nutrient cycling. Blue whales play a critical role in ocean nutrient cycling, as their feeding and movement transport nutrients vertically and horizontally across water columns. Their excretion distributes nitrogen and iron-rich waste, which promotes phytoplankton growth. The foundation of the marine food web, this process not only supports krill and fish populations, but also contributes to carbon sequestration, making whales essential players in global ecosystem health. Their presence enhances biodiversity, productivity, and climate regulation, emphasizing the interconnectedness of species and habitats. Understanding this role underscores the importance of conserving blue whales, as their ecological contributions extend far beyond their immediate environment, and highlights the profound impact that a single species can have on planetary systems, demonstrating that life operates in complex, interdependent cycles. The challenges of whale research. Studying blue whales presents extraordinary challenges. From their immense size and remote habitats to deep diving behavior and long migrations, scientists rely on advanced technology like satellite tagging, underwater acoustics, drones, and long-range observation to monitor populations and behavior. Each method requires careful planning, minimal disturbance, and innovative approaches. Despite these efforts, many aspects of their life remain elusive, including detailed social structures, communication nuances, and exact migration triggers. The difficulty of research reflects both the scale of the animal and the vastness of the ocean, highlighting the limits of human knowledge. Yet each discovery informs conservation, biology, and ecology, demonstrating that perseverance, creativity, and technology are essential to understanding and protecting these gentle giants, and reminding us that patience is a key component of scientific inquiry. The whale's survival strategies. Blue whales employ numerous survival strategies to thrive in a challenging marine environment, from long-distance migration to optimize feeding and breeding opportunities, to selective feeding on dense krill swarms, to conserve energy, to vocal communication that coordinates social interaction. Even their slow, deliberate movements minimize energy expenditure while reducing risk from predators and human activity. These strategies are the result of evolutionary refinement over millions of years, enabling survival despite threats, scarcity, and environmental fluctuations. Observing these strategies provides insight into adaptability, resilience, and intelligence in non-human species, showing that survival at massive scale depends on more than strength. It requires timing, coordination, efficiency, and awareness. The whale's strategies teach valuable lessons about balance and persistence in a complex world, and highlight the intricate connection between organism, environment, and ecosystem. The whale's impact on global ecosystems. The presence of blue whales influences global ecosystems far beyond their immediate surroundings, as their migrations, feeding, and excretion redistribute nutrients across oceans, fostering productivity and supporting biodiversity. This cascading effect extends from plankton to fish, seabirds, and other marine mammals, illustrating the interconnectedness of life. Even small shifts in whale populations can have measurable effects on marine food webs, highlighting their role as keystone species. Understanding these impacts guides conservation policy, habitat protection, and resource management, showing that protecting whales is essential for maintaining ocean health. The whale's influence demonstrates that the actions and survival of one species can resonate across continents and ecosystems, reminding us that the natural world operates in dynamic, interdependent networks where each giant matters. The acoustic communication of whales. Blue whales communicate using low-frequency sounds that travel for hundreds of miles, forming complex acoustic patterns for mating, feeding, coordination, navigation, and social interaction. These calls vary by population, region, and individual, suggesting cultural transmission and learning. The whale's acoustic communication is essential for survival in the vast, dark ocean where visibility is limited. Human-generated noise, however, threatens this delicate system, interfering with navigation, mating, and social cohesion. Studying these sounds helps scientists understand whale behavior, population dynamics, and oceanic health, and reveals the importance of sound as a primary medium in marine ecosystems, emphasizing that survival, reproduction, and social structure are closely tied to communication. A reminder that even the largest animals rely on subtle, sophisticated signals to thrive. The blue whale's environmental significance. Blue whales are environmental indicators, reflecting the health and stability of marine ecosystems. Their abundance, distribution, and behavior provide insight into ocean productivity, prey availability, and the impact of climate change. Declining populations may signal ecological disruption, while recovery indicates resilience. Studying these patterns informs conservation strategies and policy, guiding human intervention to maintain oceanic balance. The environmental significance of blue whales extends beyond their species, influencing biodiversity, fisheries, carbon cycles, and climate regulation. Protecting them ensures the continued function of essential ecological processes, demonstrating that the fate of one species can symbolize broader planetary health, and reinforcing the role of humans as caretakers of natural systems upon which all life depends. The future of conservation for blue whales. The future of blue whale conservation depends on continued global cooperation, effective policy, habitat protection, and public awareness. Threats from climate change, pollution, shipping, and fishing require mitigation, while research and monitoring help track population trends and behavior. Technological innovations improve conservation efforts, and education fosters empathy and stewardship. The success of these efforts will determine whether these magnificent giants thrive for generations to come. Conservation is not merely a biological imperative, but a moral responsibility, reflecting humanity's capacity to protect, restore, and coexist with the natural world. By securing the future of blue whales, we ensure the continuity of ocean ecosystems, the preservation of natural wonder, and the legacy of one of Earth's most remarkable and inspiring creatures, embodying hope, resilience, and life's enduring power. The blue whale's relationship with ocean currents. Blue whales rely heavily on ocean currents to navigate and conserve energy during long migrations. These currents act as natural highways, allowing them to travel thousands of miles with minimal effort. Currents also affect prey distribution, guiding whales toward krill-rich areas. Understanding this relationship is crucial for predicting feeding and breeding patterns. Oceanographic changes due to climate affect currents, altering whale behavior and survival. The connection between whales and currents demonstrates how environmental factors shape life strategies. Adaptation to these dynamic systems is key for survival. Studying this relationship provides insight into migration efficiency, ecosystem interdependence, and the influence of physical oceanography on biological processes, emphasizing the deep integration between the largest mammals and their environment, highlighting that survival depends on understanding and adapting to the movement of the sea itself. Humans have had both destructive and protective interactions with blue whales, from commercial whaling that nearly drove them to extinction to modern conservation programs aimed at protecting their populations. Encounters with ships, fishing gear, and pollution continue to pose threats, while research, ecotourism, and educational efforts help foster awareness and respect. Human interaction also influences migration and behavior as whales adjust to noise and presence in busy shipping lanes. Understanding this relationship underscores the responsibility humans have toward the natural world. The whale's response to human activity provides insight into adaptability, resilience, and behavioral flexibility, and highlights that coexistence requires mindful behavior, regulation, and proactive protection, showing that the survival of the largest creatures on Earth depends on thoughtful human choices and long-term commitment to preservation. The whale's contribution to ocean productivity. Blue whales contribute significantly to ocean productivity by cycling nutrients through their feeding and excretion. Their presence stimulates plankton growth, which supports krill, fish, and larger predators. This whale pump effect enhances the health and diversity of marine ecosystems and illustrates the interconnectedness of ocean life. Even subtle changes in whale abundance can ripple through food webs, influencing species composition, biomass, and ecosystem stability. Understanding this contribution emphasizes the importance of conserving large marine species for broader ecological health. Blue whales act as ecosystem engineers, shaping productivity and sustaining biodiversity. Their role reminds us that the largest animals are essential for maintaining balance and life cycles in the oceans, demonstrating the profound impact of a single species on global ecological processes and climate regulation. The blue whale's energy management is critical for blue whales, as sustaining a massive body over long migrations requires efficient feeding, movement, and rest strategies. Whales consume tons of krill during productive seasons, building fat reserves to survive months without food during migration. Their slow, deliberate swimming conserves energy, while deep dives require precise oxygen management. Reproductive and carrying periods also demand careful energy allocation. These strategies reflect evolutionary optimization for survival. At enormous scale, the study of energy management provides insights into physiology, behavior, and ecological adaptation, showing how the largest mammals maximize efficiency, balance risk and reward, and maintain health and strength over decades, emphasizing that life at massive size is dependent on careful, finely tuned strategies for survival, endurance, and reproduction. The whale's role in carbon sequestration. Blue whales contribute to carbon sequestration, a critical process in climate regulation, through their feeding, movement, and waste distribution, which promote plankton growth that absorbs carbon dioxide, and when whales die, their massive bodies sink to the ocean floor, trapping carbon in deep waters for centuries. This process highlights the indirect but powerful role of whales in mitigating climate change. Protecting them supports both biodiversity and climate stability. The whale's contribution to carbon cycling underscores the interconnectedness of life and the environment, showing that large marine mammals are not just ecological participants, but also essential actors in planetary health, and that their conservation has implications far beyond their species, influencing global ecological balance and long-term climate processes. The whale's sensory adaptations. Blue whales possess highly developed sensory adaptations that allow them to thrive in deep, dark, and vast oceans. Their hearing is exceptionally sensitive to low-frequency sounds that travel hundreds of miles. Vision is adapted for surface and underwater conditions. Touch and pressure detection help in navigation and social interaction. And olfactory cues play a role in social behaviors. These senses enable feeding, communication, predator avoidance, and navigation across immense distances. Studying these adaptations informs understanding of evolution, ecology, and behavior in extreme environments, revealing how life evolves specialized tools to survive and flourish. The whale's sensory systems illustrate that survival depends on more than size and strength, and that the integration of multiple sensory inputs allows the largest animals on Earth to navigate, communicate, and interact successfully in a complex and ever-changing ocean environment. The impact of climate change on blue whales. Climate change poses a significant threat to blue whales, affecting krill abundance, ocean temperatures, and migration patterns. Melting ice and warming seas alter prey availability and breeding grounds, while ocean acidification impacts the base of the food chain, potentially cascading effects throughout the ecosystem. Whales must adapt their feeding strategies, migration routes, and reproductive timing to cope. Yet rapid environmental change challenges these evolutionary adaptations. Studying the impact of climate change on blue whales informs broader conservation strategies and helps predict ecosystem shifts. Protecting whales in a warming world requires global efforts, monitoring, and proactive intervention, emphasizing that the largest mammals are intimately linked to environmental stability and that their survival reflects the health of oceans and the planet as a whole. The whale's migration challenges. During migration, blue whales face numerous challenges, from navigating thousands of miles to avoiding predators, human activity, and environmental hazards. Energy management is critical as they balance feeding, resting, and reproductive needs. Unpredictable ocean conditions, like storms and shifts in prey distribution, test their endurance. Social coordination with other whales may be necessary for mating and feeding, and the cumulative effect of these challenges highlights the resilience and adaptability of these giants. Understanding migration challenges provides insights into navigation, physiology, ecology, and behavior, while emphasizing the importance of protecting migratory routes and habitats, showing that survival requires both innate ability and favorable environmental conditions, and that even the largest animals face complex and multifaceted obstacles. Across their lives, the blue whale's acoustic environment. The acoustic environment is critical for blue whales, as low-frequency calls allow communication across hundreds of miles in oceans where visibility is limited. This environment is increasingly affected by human-generated noise from shipping, industrial activities, and sonar, which can interfere with navigation, social interactions, and mating. Understanding the acoustic needs of whales informs conservation strategies, emphasizing the importance of noise reduction, quiet zones, and responsible maritime practices. Acoustic monitoring also provides data on population trends, migration, and behavior, highlighting the reliance of these giants on sound, showing that survival, reproduction, and social cohesion depend on an intact acoustic environment, and that protecting the ocean's soundscape is as vital as preserving physical habitats for the largest mammals on Earth, the blue whales. Legacy. The legacy of the blue whale extends beyond its physical existence, influencing science, culture, conservation, and environmental awareness. These giants inspire awe, curiosity, and respect, serving as symbols of endurance, adaptability, and the majesty of life. Their survival teaches lessons about resilience, ecological interdependence, and human responsibility. Efforts to conserve them have led to stronger policies, protected areas, and public awareness. Securing the whale's future represents a commitment to preserving biodiversity and planetary health. Their legacy is also a reminder of what can be achieved through collaboration, research, and stewardship, showing that humans can positively impact even the largest creatures, and that protecting these majestic mammals ensures that future generations inherit a world where the giants of the ocean continue to thrive, inspire, and shape life on Earth. The blue whale's calving process. The calving process in blue whales is a carefully timed and energy-intensive event, occurring primarily in warmer waters to ensure calf survival. After an 11-month gestation, calves are born weighing several tons, completely dependent on their mother for nutrition, protection, and guidance. The mother-calf bond is critical for learning migration routes, feeding techniques, and social behavior. Nursing provides high-fat milk that supports rapid growth. Calves gradually build strength and stamina for the long journey to feeding grounds. This period is vital for survival and development, and any disruption from predators, human activity, or environmental stressors can threaten outcomes. Understanding calving and maternal care informs conservation, highlights the importance of safe breeding habitats, and shows the remarkable investment required to sustain life at the largest scale, demonstrating both vulnerability and resilience in these gentle giants, the whales. Historical significance. blue whales have played a significant role in human history. From whaling and trade to inspiring folklore, art, and literature, historically, whales were hunted for oil, meat, and baleen, which nearly drove them to extinction. Yet they also became symbols of the power and mystery of the oceans, appearing in myths and cultural stories around the world. Historical interactions have shaped conservation awareness, showing both the destructive and educational aspects of human influence. Today, the historical significance of blue whales informs policy, research, priorities, and global appreciation for marine life, connecting past mistakes to current efforts for protection, and demonstrating that understanding history is crucial for guiding responsible stewardship, ensuring that future generations learn from past interactions and continue to respect and protect these magnificent creatures. The whale's interaction with marine ecosystems. Blue whales interact dynamically with marine ecosystems, influencing food webs, nutrient cycling, and biodiversity. Their feeding redistributes nutrients, supporting plankton, krill, and larger species. Their movements link oceanic regions, connecting polar and tropical ecosystems. Even their presence shapes predator-prey dynamics. While whale carcasses provide deep-sea habitats and nutrients, these interactions highlight their role as keystone species, critical for ecological balance. Studying these interactions informs ecosystem management, conservation strategies, and environmental policy, showing that whales are not isolated giants, but integral to the health and function of oceans, emphasizing that protecting whales ensures stability and productivity throughout marine ecosystems, illustrating the complex interdependence of life in the sea. The blue whale's role in climate regulation. Blue whales play an indirect but vital role in climate regulation through nutrient cycling, stimulating plankton growth, and supporting carbon sequestration. Their feeding and movement enhance productivity, while whale falls on the ocean floor store carbon for centuries. This ecological contribution reduces atmospheric carbon dioxide and stabilizes climate systems, demonstrating the interconnectedness of life and environmental health. Protecting whales is therefore not only a conservation issue, but a climate imperative, highlighting that large marine mammals contribute to global ecological balance and that their survival has ramifications beyond species preservation, influencing ocean productivity, carbon cycles, and planetary climate, underscoring the importance of integrating wildlife protection into climate action strategies, and showing that even giants can impact global environmental processes. The whale's reproductive strategies. Blue whales employ specific reproductive strategies to ensure species survival. Mating occurs in tropical or temperate waters during defined seasons, while gestation lasts 11 months, resulting in large, vulnerable calves. Mothers provide extensive care, nursing high-fat milk and teaching critical survival skills. Reproductive success depends on environmental conditions, food availability, and health, with population growth being slow, highlighting vulnerability. Timing and migration are closely coordinated to maximize survival. The strategies reflect evolutionary optimization, balancing energy investment with environmental pressures. Studying reproduction informs conservation, shows the fragility and resilience of life at massive scale, and emphasizes the importance of protecting breeding grounds. ensuring the continuation of these magnificent giants across generations, and maintaining the ecological role of the species. The acoustic communication network blue whales rely on a sophisticated acoustic communication network, producing low-frequency calls that travel hundreds of miles, enabling coordination of feeding, navigation, mating, and social interaction. Regional and population-specific variations suggest cultural transmission, learning, and adaptation. Human-generated noise, however, threatens these communications, interfering with navigation and social cohesion. Studying these acoustic networks provides insights into whale behavior, social structure, and adaptation to environmental pressures, highlighting the importance of sound in the oceanic environment. The network allows the largest mammals to maintain connections across vast distances, coordinate survival strategies, and respond to threats, emphasizing that acoustic communication is as vital as physical adaptation for thriving in complex and dynamic marine ecosystems, and that protecting the soundscape is integral to conservation. The whale's interaction with predators. Although adult blue whales have few natural predators due to their immense size, calves are vulnerable to orcas and large sharks, prompting mothers and sometimes other adults to employ protective behaviors. Migration and social grouping reduce predation risk. Awareness and response to predator presence are critical survival strategies. Predator-prey dynamics influence movement, feeding, and breeding behaviors, demonstrating how even the largest mammals must navigate ecological challenges. Studying these interactions informs understanding of natural selection, behavioral adaptation, and ecological balance, emphasizing that survival is a combination of size, vigilance, and strategy, and highlighting that the blue whale's interactions with predators contribute to the broader stability and complexity of marine ecosystems, where even giants must remain cautious and adaptive. The whale's contribution to ecotourism. Blue whales contribute significantly to ecotourism, attracting observers, researchers, and photographers to oceans worldwide, promoting environmental awareness, cultural appreciation, and economic benefit. Responsible ecotourism encourages conservation, supports local communities, and fosters education, allowing people to experience the majesty of the largest animal on Earth. Observing whales inspires empathy, respect, and advocacy for marine protection. Ecotourism can also fund research and monitoring, reinforcing the relationship between humans and marine life, highlighting the balance between access and protection. The whale's presence boosts environmental stewardship, demonstrates the value of sustainable practices, and shows how living giants can educate and motivate humans to preserve the oceans and their inhabitants for future generations. The whales' vulnerability to environmental changes. Blue whales are sensitive to environmental changes, including shifts in prey abundance, ocean temperatures, pollution, and habitat disruption. Even small changes can impact feeding, migration, reproduction, and survival. Climate change exacerbates these threats, altering krill distribution and ocean currents, while human activity introduces noise, shipping risks, and chemical pollutants. This vulnerability highlights the interconnectedness of species and environment, showing that survival depends on ecosystem health. Understanding and mitigating environmental pressures is critical for conservation. and emphasizes that protecting the oceans safeguards both whales and countless other species. The vulnerability of blue whales underscores the responsibility humans have to maintain stability and balance in marine ecosystems, ensuring the continuity of life at multiple scales. The blue whales. Global distribution. Blue whales are found in oceans across the globe, from the Arctic and Antarctic polar regions to temperate and tropical seas, following seasonal migration patterns between feeding and breeding grounds. Their distribution depends on prey availability, water temperature, and environmental conditions. Tracking global populations informs understanding of migration, population structure, and ecosystem health. Regional differences reveal adaptation to local conditions and human impacts. Understanding distribution patterns is essential for effective conservation planning, establishing marine protected areas, and mitigating human-related threats. The global presence of blue whales highlights their ecological significance, interconnectedness of oceans, and the necessity of international cooperation in protecting migratory species, emphasizing that safeguarding the planet's largest mammals requires a worldwide perspective, policy, and effort. The whale's influence on krill populations. Blue whales directly influence krill populations as they consume several tons per day, regulating densities and contributing to ecosystem balance. Selective feeding pressures affect krill distribution and behavior, which in turn impacts other predators. Whales act as both consumers and ecological regulators, ensuring that no single population dominates. Their feeding also stimulates nutrient cycling, supporting plankton growth that replenishes krill stocks, maintaining a natural equilibrium. Studying this relationship informs conservation strategies, ecological modeling, and the effects of environmental change, emphasizing that even the largest animal relies on and shapes the smallest creatures, revealing the intricate balance necessary for healthy, thriving marine ecosystems. The whale's role in ocean carbon storage. Blue whales play a key role in ocean carbon storage, not only through the stimulation of plankton growth, but also via their massive bodies, which upon death sink to the ocean floor, sequestering carbon for centuries. This whale fall provides both storage and habitat for deep-sea organisms, contributing to biodiversity and nutrient cycling. Their role in carbon storage underscores the importance of conserving large marine mammals for climate regulation, as well as ecosystem health. Protecting blue whales ensures the continuity of this natural carbon sink, illustrating that species preservation has direct implications for global ecological and atmospheric processes, and highlighting that the largest creatures in the ocean perform functions vital to the stability of life on Earth. The whale's navigation skills. Blue whales exhibit remarkable navigation skills, traversing thousands of miles across oceans with precision, using environmental cues, magnetic fields, ocean currents, and social learning to find feeding and breeding grounds. These long migrations require memory, orientation, and energy optimization, demonstrating complex cognitive and physiological abilities. Understanding navigation informs studies of animal behavior, oceanography, and adaptation to environmental changes. Whales adjust routes according to prey availability, human activity, and ocean conditions, showcasing flexibility and resilience. Navigation is critical for survival, reproduction, and social interaction. highlighting that even giants rely on sophisticated strategies to thrive in vast and changing environments, emphasizing the interconnectedness of biology and the physical ocean environment. The whale's social behavior. Blue whales display social behavior that is often subtle but essential for survival, including coordinated feeding, vocal communication, mating interactions, and maternal care. While generally solitary, they form temporary groups that facilitate cooperation and learning. Social bonds influence reproductive success and knowledge transfer. Calves learn migration routes, feeding techniques, and predator avoidance through social interaction. Observing these behaviors provides insight into communication, culture, and behavioral ecology. Social behavior also demonstrates adaptation to environmental pressures, human threats, and predation, highlighting that even the largest animals benefit from interaction and cooperation, emphasizing the importance of social dynamics in the survival and resilience of blue whale populations. The whale's deep ocean foraging. Blue whales forage in deep ocean waters where prey density is high, using coordinated lunges and precise diving techniques to maximize energy intake. These deep foraging behaviors require adaptations in oxygen storage, pressure tolerance, and efficient movement, allowing whales to exploit resources inaccessible to many predators. Foraging efficiency directly impacts survival, reproduction, and calf development. Studying these behaviors informs understanding of physiology, ecology, and environmental adaptation, revealing the strategies necessary for life at massive scale. Deep ocean foraging highlights the interplay of biology, behavior, and ecosystem dynamics, demonstrating that the largest animals must navigate complex environmental challenges to maintain energy balance, growth, and reproductive success. The whale's interaction with other marine mammals. Blue whales interact with other marine mammals in ways that influence behavior, feeding, and social structures, including mutual avoidance, following migration patterns, and occasional cooperative feeding or communication. These interactions reflect ecological balance, competition, and adaptation, while also shaping population dynamics and spatial distribution. Understanding these relationships informs ecosystem modeling, conservation, and interspecies dynamics, demonstrating that even the largest species do not exist in isolation. Interactions can affect energy expenditure, migration efficiency, and social learning, highlighting the importance of coexistence, adaptation, and ecosystem interconnectedness, and showing that marine mammal communities function as integrated systems where each species plays a role. The whale's reproductive challenges. Reproduction for blue whales presents challenges including mate finding across vast distances, energy investment in gestation and calving, vulnerability of calves to predation, and environmental pressures such as food scarcity or human disturbance. Successful reproduction depends on timing, health, and social conditions, highlighting the species' slow population growth and vulnerability. Understanding reproductive challenges informs conservation strategies, including protection of breeding grounds and monitoring of population trends. The difficulties of reproduction emphasize the delicate balance required for species survival, and that the resilience and adaptability of these giants are tested at every stage of life, reminding humans of the importance of protecting conditions necessary for life continuity. The whale's migration routes. Blue whales follow defined migration routes between polar feeding grounds and tropical breeding areas. Routes are influenced by prey availability, ocean currents, temperature, and historical patterns. Long journeys require energy efficiency, navigation skill, and social coordination. Disruptions along these routes, from shipping, fishing, or climate change, can affect survival and reproductive success. Understanding migration routes informs conservation planning, including marine protected areas, ship speed regulations, and human activity management. The consistency and challenges of these migrations reveal the interplay of instinct, learned behavior, and environmental factors, emphasizing that the survival of the species is closely tied to the preservation of migratory pathways and the health of the oceans themselves. The whale's vocalizations. Blue whales use vocalizations to communicate over incredible distances, coordinating feeding, mating, and migration. Low-frequency calls travel across hundreds of miles, providing a means to connect in an environment where visibility is limited. Vocalization patterns vary among populations, suggesting learning and culture. Human-generated noise interferes with these calls, impacting navigation and social cohesion. Studying vocalizations provides insight into behavior, population dynamics, and environmental awareness. Vocal communication demonstrates that even giants rely on subtle, sophisticated signals for survival, emphasizing the importance of soundscape preservation and highlighting the interdependence between species, environment, and human activity in maintaining the natural balance of the oceans. The whale's legacy for future generations. The legacy of blue whales extends far beyond their ecological role, influencing science, conservation, culture, and environmental awareness. Their survival serves as a symbol of resilience, and the power of nature, inspiring global efforts to protect marine life and ecosystems. Education and ecotourism foster appreciation and stewardship among future generations. Conservation ensures that these magnificent giants continue to thrive, contributing to biodiversity, climate regulation, and the balance of marine ecosystems. Their legacy teaches humans the importance of responsibility, cooperation, and long-term vision, ensuring that the largest creatures on Earth remain a source of inspiration, ecological function, and wonder for generations to come, emphasizing that protecting whales preserves both nature and the wisdom of coexistence. The whale's adaptation to extreme depths. Blue whales are adapted to survive and thrive at extreme ocean depths, diving hundreds of meters to access dense krill swarms. Their bodies are optimized for pressure tolerance, efficient oxygen storage, and slow metabolism during long dives, enabling them to forage effectively while conserving energy. These adaptations are crucial for survival, feeding, and migration, allowing them to exploit resources inaccessible to many predators. Studying deep diving behavior provides insights into physiology, ecology, and the limits of mammalian adaptation. The ability to operate in such extreme conditions highlights the evolutionary ingenuity required for life at massive scale, revealing how biological design, environmental pressures, and survival strategies converge, and demonstrating that even the largest animals must master their environment to flourish. The whale's role in ocean education. Blue whales serve as powerful tools for ocean education, inspiring curiosity, research, and conservation awareness worldwide. Their immense size, gentle behavior, and ecological importance make them ideal ambassadors for marine ecosystems. Educational programs, documentaries, and ecotourism initiatives utilize whales to teach about biodiversity, environmental stewardship, and climate change. Exposure to whale conservation fosters empathy, responsibility, and understanding of ecological interdependence. This educational role extends beyond humans, influencing policy, research, funding, and global awareness. The presence of whales encourages protection of entire habitats, demonstrating that iconic species can drive broader environmental action. Their educational significance ensures that knowledge, respect, and conservation values are passed to future generations, reinforcing the importance of coexistence with nature.